Recording. Hello, everyone. It's Kim Haworth from Good News Daily. And today we have an exciting topic that we're talking about. It's joy. And I'm joined with Emily LaFrance from Reno, Nevada, and she is a chiropractor. And we're so glad that she decided to be part of our chat today. And Anna Kohlberg from Voxana Lifetones, and she is a collaborator and contributor with Good News Daily, and Tammy Ingraham from Breaking Waves Mentoring. So we have some really exciting perspectives to share their perspective on joy and how it benefits our holistic self, mind, body, soul, spirit, and energy system. And I just want to share with all three of you, you have been handpicked for this topic.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad that you joined me today. So when we brought up this topic at Good News Daily, and we changed the topics that are on the website, and this is our new topic. And if you'd like to read more, there's articles on there. I was really feeling into this frequency of joy. And I think so many times we think that it's something either or, like we can feel sadness or we can feel joy. And so many times we look at joy as maybe something that we experience when we're happy or experiencing something beautiful. But what I was really feeling into with this frequency of joy is it's part of our DNA. It never goes away. Even if we're in this space of grief or sadness, it is still there. We still have that in our being, that joy, that lightness, because of who we are, because of how we've been created. And what if they could coexist? And what if we could spark different things in our life to bring more joy and lightness? So that's what it felt like to me. Anna, how about you?
Oh, yes. I just, as you share, well, I feel my own joy from within. I feel like it feels like like an ocean that I'm kind of floating all the time or resting in this joy. And I just hear the word unconditional, unconditional. I'm unconditional. It's like this joy. It has no it doesn't ask for anything. It's just here. It's unconditional. It's unconditional. It's unconditional joy. So, and I've noticed this myself, of course, throughout the years. I had a burnout many years ago, and it was, I think, at the core of that burnout was, of course, it was because of who I am, and it was also like I had adapted so much to try to get something from the outside instead of allowing it to come from within. And I play a lot with my voice in my all the time and in my business. And the voice really showed me what, like my own source. It took me back to my own source. And there is so much joy. It's just there all the time, even as you say, even if there's sadness, even if there's grief, even if there's pain, it's just something that comes and goes, and this joy is here all the time. And for me, it's very connected to wonder. Like joy and wonder for me have like a similar flavor, and it's just the way I perceive reality and how I experience life.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it is our perspective and our thoughts and our words about it.
Mm.
And I think that can even affect the amount of lightness and joy that we feel. So I completely agree with you. My kitty cat decided to join us today.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about emotions, you can see how high joy and gratitude and passion and love are up on that scale. So, what that means is that fuels our system. That brings in a lot of energy when we are in that frequency, when we are tapped into that lightness. Emily, what has your experience been with joy, maybe with clients or with yourself? And what do you notice?
Mhm. Yeah. So when I was ruminating on joy before this call, I was really tapping into how I feel like joy is just a birthright, like something that we all deserve to have and feel, right? And it's something that I believe that we consciously cultivate. It's there, but to really, yeah, feel into it, something that we can consciously choose every day. And I love that you just brought out that board because I totally think that gratitude and joy are intertwined.
Yes.
And yeah, when I'm thinking about joy, honestly, my parents are my greatest inspiration. When I was just 12 years old and my brother was 14, he passed away in a tragic motorcycle accident doing what he loved. It was just one of those freak things. And of course, while my family, my whole family, and my parents had their time of really intense grief and darkness and sadness, my parents were able to be transformed and come out the other side of this tragedy and really even deepen their level of joy. I feel like because they allowed themselves to feel these depths of despair, they were able to come out on this other side and really feel the depths of joy, right? And they came out with this motto of life is short. We never know when we're going to go. So let's just hold it wide open and live it up. And they really have gone on to do that with traveling the world and cultivating community and how they go on to live their life. And it's been such an inspiration to me. It's something that I just carry with myself because none of us are immune to hardships, right? Like we're all going to have things come in our lives and have hard moments, hard days, hard weeks, hard months, however it looks. But to be able to come back to this baseline of joy and to continue to choose that. So as life is throwing these waves of these ups and downs, we can come back to this steady, right? This joy. And when I think of it and I really visualize it intertwined with gratitude, I think that's just a choice. Like every day, especially me, I feel like I'm pulled in a lot of different directions with two little kids right now. And, there's the endless dishes and the endless laundry. And I think it's easy to get caught up and feel maybe frustration or anger, whatever that may be. But I try to just like almost hit the reset button and flip the script of my life. And as I'm doing the dishes, I'm like, how lucky am I to be able to do these dishes for my family, for my children. And that was really how my parents lived. They looked at my brother's life and they said, how lucky are we to have had him for 14 years? And I
Mm.
think most people would have been caught up on, especially now that I'm a mother and feel into that, what it would be like. I think a lot of people would be caught up in like how horrible it was. We only had someone for 14 years, right? But loss is a part of life. And I think really flipping the script and choosing to anchor into gratitude and joy can change our entire lives and our entire frequency. But it is a choice. Yeah.
That's beautiful, Emily. And I'm so excited that your parents were able to use that in a positive way in their life. So many times when you hear about a parent losing a child, it splits them up. It's something they get stuck in for the rest of their lives and can't move beyond that grief and probably making it wrong and things like that. So, what a beautiful experience
Mhm.
that they were able to transform that grief into joy and living their best life every day, right?
Totally.
And you do become grateful,
Yeah.
grateful for every moment that we are given.
Hmm.
And Tammy, what has your experience been with
Um,
joy, perhaps with yourself or with your clients?
I feel like joy for myself personally, I kind of bookend it with gratitude and hope.
Mhm.
Where like that combination of joy and gratitude kind of naturally extend to hope. Because even when hard things happen, when you have this kind of joy inside, it kind of attaches itself naturally, couples to hope, because you know that things are going to improve or change, or that it's serving a purpose, you're learning something, you can be in the space of curiosity about it. Um, and I think that those things are so fundamental in just our well-being. And I think that sometimes happiness and joy get confused. And I always try to explain it like happiness is like an emotion, but joy is like a state of being. So to be in that space of peace or joy, for that just to kind of be the baseline that drives your life is so important. And where I see it professionally, just as a relationship coach, is that I always talk about the relationship with ourselves first. And so when we bring that kind of state of being a joyful person into any relationship, be it marital or with our kids or friendships, when you're just kind of presenting with that of joy, it naturally kind of elevates the relationship as well, with ourselves and others. So yeah, I think it's so, even, like as a Christ follower, like even scripturally, there's so much about joy. Like it's just so tied to the fabric of our being as an option.
Mhm.
And yet so many people don't know how to access that or choose not to access that. And it can really be just a baseline for us
Mhm.
that
And I
really
like
changes how we navigate life.
and I like that the Bible uses the word everlasting joy
Mm-hmm.
so many
Yeah.
times when it talks about joy. This joy that is always part of us, no matter what we're experiencing. Um, and it's a peace, it's a knowing, it's a trust.
Mhm.
And I do completely agree with all of you. Like gratitude is the one that can
Mhm.
fuel more of that and bring that into your system.
Mhm.
And your whole being lights up with that joy.
Yeah.
Emily, so I'm curious as a chiropractor, um, there's specific spots in the body that respond to this more than others, um, particularly like the heart, or
Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes even the throat and sacral chakra, which means like our digestive system. What have you noticed, perhaps with yourself or with your clients, when people are more in a state of joy versus perhaps grief or sadness, and how does the body look and feel and respond?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
To me, it all comes back to heart posture. How is someone coming in carrying themselves? What does their posture look like? Is
Mhm.
their heart in a state of protection and collapse? We see this a lot with people who are maybe having a harder time or in a state of sadness or depression, right? We all know the hunched shoulders, the collapsed rib cage. That's all protecting our vital organs, our heart, right? And when people are in more of an open state, typically more tapped into that joy, that peace, I definitely notice just that expansion here in that heart space, relaxed shoulders, like open neck. Um, and I also just have this visual, like when I'm working on someone or even looking at someone, of do they have that clear, open vessel, like you were just talking about the chakras? Is that a clear, open vessel where they're tapped into source, or whatever they may call that, and allowing themselves to be that open vessel for whatever is coming through them, or are they closed off? And I kind of visualize that like foggy, boggy, like interference going on
Mm.
within the system. So a lot of times I kind of bring joy into the adjustment, but I really liked how Tammy was talking about also curiosity as well. And I'll tie it into like curiosity and gratitude. So people are coming in with, oh, I have all these, I'm experiencing all these symptoms, all this pain, and really again trying to flip that script of, but how amazing is your body? Our bodies are always trying to communicate with us, and so is our soul and our spirit, right? These things are coming up to try to let us know that there's some deeper work to be done. So my job as a chiropractor is to try to help just facilitate and bring awareness to these areas of the body and allow the person, however ready they are, to slowly kind of unfurl and open up. And we've talked about this before, Kim, how healing is just like peeling back layers of the onion. So it's not like we're going to go in there and do this big forceful adjustment, try to force the body open, right?
Right.
It's like these slowly each time we're just kind of peeling another layer of the onion and allowing their body to do the work. But it's pretty amazing to witness how people can transform and really start to open up their heart. You can just feel that energy when people are more of like an open heart posture. It's pretty awesome to witness.
It is beautiful, and it's a beautiful energy and willingness from
Mm.
people.
Yes.
Yes, to experience that and to have that fuel their system. Absolutely. And Anna, I know that you translate a lot of things from plants to us. And I've taken some of your classes with like your specific flowers that you've done with the hibiscus, with twin flower, and your most recent one with crowberry. And, I find that common link of joy throughout those. Do you experience that too when you're spending time with them?
Oh, yes, of
Yes.
course. It's like I feel like joy, what from the beginning, joy was their language to call me to co-create with them, because I hear the essence of each flower. I hear it as tones. So my voice starts to sing along when I hear it. I always did like singing with the plants, and it's maybe at the core of it is their joy that was calling me to start playing like this. And but it's also, I find it so interesting that you experience joy in all these very different flowers that you have experienced, Kim,
Yes.
because the flowers, they are like they communicate in such a how can I say, a very expansive communication and a very high vibrational communication. So it's like they come from a space way before we form words, and where words are is like limiting the experience. So they come from, they just share from their heart. It's like a heart to heart communication. And that's why each person who listen to these tones of the flowers, everyone will receive a unique message, because it's like it's not interpreted into words. So you, Kim, you received lots of joy from the flowers, and that's because they resonated with your joy. Like with your, I felt when you came, like you had this huge reservoir of joy that wanted to be even more, come to life even more, and vibrate even more, and like you're doing now, having this theme of joy, so it can be shared with lots of people through good news all over the planet. So it's really like the flowers, the tones of the flowers resonated with you, with your unique joy.
Yes.
And I just love hearing you share about that. And yeah, it's also like because for me, joy is like we talked about, an innate quality really in our being, for all of us. And sometimes we're very disconnected from it. And since I play with frequencies and sound, I experience such innate qualities like joy. I experience them as a frequency that, and we can just, it's almost like a being. We can call upon joy. It's a frequency. So when we call upon joy, and sometimes if I'm in like despair, I can just say, hey, joy, can you come? Can you come and embrace me? Can you infuse me? Where are you in my body? Where do I feel joy in this moment? It's like immediately when we are calling upon it, it gets activated, because it's just waiting for us all the time. It's like it's calling us somewhere, and all we have to do is just give it this, with a minimum of attention and awareness, it will expand like exponentially, actually, because it's life force itself pouring itself into the joy in our physical bodies and our beings.
Oh, that's beautiful. my whole being lights up when you're talking about it.
Yeah, because it's so simple, because it's
Yes.
play. It's like a child's play. We can just say, "Hey, Joy," and maybe we even have an image of Joy. What do you look like today, Joy? And it can come and play with us. And it's not even like hard work. We don't have to like work on ourselves. We just can play with Joy and welcome it.
Yeah, and just receive it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
absolutely.
But sometimes I also feel like for some people and for myself, sometimes joy is if there's really grief, deep grief, like for instance, like you shared, Emily, when your parents lost their kid, or when you lost your brother, the grief is so deep. So maybe to welcome joy is could be feel like a too big of a step.
Mhm.
So then, for me, I can call upon compassion or maybe lightness, because lightness could be easier to receive when we are really deep in despair. Like lightness, it could just come in and start to allow things to move inside and to just be this like a shower of light, very gentle. Whereas joy could feel a little too, how can I even, it's like sometimes I feel like I don't even know there is joy. So that could be a step.
I like that. Yeah.
Mm.
And it meets us where we're at, right?
Yeah.
And it gives us exactly what we need. And our intention to just feel lighter and to move through the grief is probably more than enough for our system to be able to receive and respond to exactly where we're at that moment. And Tammy, I'm curious, maybe with some of your clients, when they come to you with a deep space of grief or um, really looking for assistance to possibly work through some relationships or something that they've experienced, what are some of the steps that you share with them to bring back some lightness and maybe even some acceptance as to what they've experienced?
I try to explain it to them, especially if there's a lot of trauma involved,
Mhm.
that it's kind of our brain kind of works like a teeter-totter. And so like if you imagine emotions being on one side and our logic and our reasoning and ability to kind of think through on the other side, sometimes our emotions hijack us. And if we're high in our emotions, then we're low in our ability to problem solve or reason or kind of think our way through something. And so the first thing is to always try to stabilize and balance out our teeter-totter, because then we've got both things on board. And so I normally I have to try to get them to regulate and get out of all emotion. Or if I'm working with my first responders, they're all in logic and reason and emotions very low. And we need both of those things to balance to be able to think through the solutions and also honor what is and how we're feeling. And so normally my first thing is to get them to regulate. And then we can talk about, um, you know, I always bring gratitude on right away because I feel like joy is just such a natural byproduct of gratitude that one of the first assignments that I have them do is every night before they go to bed, write down the best thing about that day. And what it kind of does is it puts them in the space, the mind space all day long of looking for what's right about the day. I wonder if this is what I'll write down tonight. And it's that hope element of, is this what's going to be the best thing about today? And it's just a mind shift that kind of puts them in a different space of receiving and noticing all that's right instead of just honing in on the thing that's wrong, which is typically when relationships get in trouble. And so that's kind of where I take it first to try to get them regulated and then get their RAS on board of looking for what's right and what's good and what there is to be grateful for. And those things kind of put them just in a different space to receive, to even start to have, conversations more about building around the solution instead of the problem. But first, it's absolutely that mindset shift of trying to get them to even be willing to receive joy or to focus on gratitude. And once we can do that, it kind of puts an ice cube right on that nerve to like, now we can work. But it's definitely getting that shift to happen first before problem solving can even be part of the discussion.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the ice cube on the nerve. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's really important because when we're in that stress state,
Mhm.
our brains are not working the way that it does when we're in a relaxed state.
No.
Yeah. That's really powerful to offer to people that are going through something difficult right now. And I have also found, gratitude really pairs
Mhm.
with that level of joy, and to just bring it up even in a split second. For myself, it's not making wrong the other emotions that we feel too, because
Mhm.
then that brings in a lot of guilt and shame and heaviness. Even sometimes fear, why did I feel that, and to just breathe and allow all the emotions as all being just emotions.
Mhm.
Sometimes we make it mean so much more than it needs to mean, you know. It's okay that I experienced that sadness, that grief, that heaviness. I can breathe. I
Mhm.
can breathe into something else. And I allow that to be part of my life because we all benefit from all the things that we experience. And, I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. I'm grateful for every single thing that I've been through, and I'm really grateful for where I'm going.
Mhm.
And if we can have that continual gratitude, it does help to fuel more lightness and joy in our lives. And even things like color, look at your environment. Look at the colors that you're around. Look at the things that you're around. Do you have some nature in your home or in your business? Um, what music are you listening to? What are you watching on TV or on your phone? All those things are very important and can really help spark or extinguish some joy in your life. So, Emily, what would be your suggestion to our viewers and listeners today if there was one way that they wanted to bring some more joy into their being today?
I would invite you that next time you're doing something that you're feeling a little meh about or frustrated, like I said about the laundry or dishes or vacuuming, try to just flip the script in your brain and find where you can, dig deep and find that gratitude and be like, I'm so grateful I have a house to clean and
Mhm.
family to feed, whatever it is for you. Just flipping that script into gratitude to really find that joy.
And that's powerful. That's a powerful switch to flip. And Anna, how about you? If you were to suggest to someone a simple way that they could bring more joy into their life today?
What comes to me is like, uh, what if what if wrongness didn't exist? When you shared, Kim, that to embrace all the emotions and all things that are moving through us, I felt so much joy. I felt how joy was singing all around because of that neutrality around how we respond with through emotions. And emotions are really the tools of the body to move through things. So if we could welcome the emotions in the neutrality, like. Not like being what's the word in English, indifferent, and
Mhm.
but really the loving neutrality of the heart, where everything is just welcome, even if it's uncomfortable, even if I don't like it, even if I don't want to have it, because joy is like singing when we just allow things to be the way they are, and as if nothing was wrong. What if I
Yes.
never, what if I wouldn't make myself wrong for having an emotion or whatever? Or even like, if someone listens to this now and it's so easy to, because the gratitude that we are talking about is so powerful, but it's also very easy to use it to beat ourselves up. Oh, I should be grateful now, and I don't
Mhm.
feel the
Mhm.
gratitude.
Mhm.
And also embrace that, because when we embrace that and allow ourselves to have the experience that we are having, the unconditional and like very maybe peaceful and still joy that's at the core of everything. It just lightens up and it starts to move when we don't judge ourselves.
Yeah. And sometimes we get stuck in that duality, don't we, Anna?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right and wrong. I'm doing it right, I'm doing it wrong. I'm not evolving enough quickly enough, so I must be doing
Yeah.
something wrong. No, it's not. What if wrongness didn't exist? What if we didn't believe in wrongness? So much joy is just bubbling up.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. It's powerful. And Tammy, how about you? If you were to offer a suggestion to how someone could bring some more joy into their life today.
I think that, you can do a stacking of things that bring joy, little shifts, even if you're in the middle of some difficult season. I think just stacking little elements of joy. It might be bringing some flowers in the house. It might be putting on music that you enjoy or lighting a candle in the evening, things that are readily available to us, that we just often don't notice when we are in pain. And I think that, when the tide comes in, all the boats rise. And so I think that you start stacking little elements of joy that give you possibility and room to expand into. Um, Eventually there becomes a shift, just even being in that place of opportunity for joy to come in again. And so I think in that way we can kind of set the stage. We can kind of design our life in a way to be more welcoming of that coming in, no matter the hardship that's going on. And so I always think that, what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And so it's starting to just look for opportunities to set the stage for joy to come in, to welcome it in a thousand little ways. And often too, joy can come in when we serve others. And so if you're feeling really low, encourage someone else, send a text, send a card, do something. Those things just naturally stack to where you just start to create an environment of joy and possibility and hope and gratitude.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it brings.
Hmm.
Possibility and hope and gratitude.
Hmm.
Yeah. And they're all so powerful.
Hmm.
And who doesn't want more possibilities in their life?
Right.
Hmm. So, Emily, if anybody would like to reach out to you today and connect with you, how could they get in contact with you?
Hmm. That's a good question. I am working on building out a website, so that's
Right.
something I'll send to you when it's done, and we can add it to
Okay, sure.
keep it
Sure.
easy.
Sure. You can reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with Emily.
Yeah.
And Tammy, how about you?
Our website, Breaking Waves Mentoring, everything is on there. Yeah.
Okay, great. And Anna, how about you?
Yeah, I have my website at voxana.com, and I also have on Instagram, I'm Anna Voxana, so you can find me there. And I will soon have an online gathering with the life tones of the flowers if someone is curious to see how the flowers are here to awaken joy within.
Yes. Yeah. And they are powerful. And I would really encourage you, if that resonates with you at all, to reach out to Anna because it can be life-changing to experience those frequencies and the connection with nature, which is irreplaceable in my opinion. And we are goodnewsdaily.info if you want to check out our website, and we're on all the socials on YouTube, on Spotify now, and on Instagram and Facebook. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. This has been so enlightening and beneficial. So have a joyful day. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.